Our inner call is often that everything will be fine, because that's how we can, like, there's a grand plan, I'm going along with it, everything's going to be okay. That's our inner need. But the outer pressure is, you got to know what you got to do. Otherwise, opportunities will pass you by. There's such like a disconnect. Again, like the volcano thing, right? Like there's two completely opposite needs and they're clashing. And somehow I'm supposed to look good in the midst of all this turmoil that's going on. This is a good thing you say, just the pressure to pass time. Gone are the days when people valued boredom. You know, it's just like, I remember having summer vacations and there was never TV or anything like that. You could just hang out under the tree and play with worms for a long bit of time, you know. It's like big coconut trees outside my house. You just like sit under the tree and just dig the earth, put it into shapes and put it back. Just like okay, being as a child, you're just like okay to be. But now you don't have that kind of a time. Even if you have to journal, you need to make time for that. Even if you need to express your feelings, you need to make time with your partner. Even if you're living in the same house, you're not allowed to be just doing nothing, right? Where did this come from? On what kind of thoughts we focus on, our mood changes. Whatever happened is in the past. It has no actual existence. It's just a memory, soon to fade. But you have some emotions that you carry from that. And the one that you focus on is what becomes prominent. The fact that you're focusing on avoiding a certain feeling, that means you're focusing on that feeling, even when you're trying to avoid it. So you feel unrest, anxiety, all these things. When you try to focus on the happy memories, that's what grows. But remember, this is a choice you have. You can choose which one you want to remember. It takes practice, but first you need to make a choice. What do I want to remember myself as? I want to remember it as a sob story or as a happy growth experience. I have that choice. So, but it takes the choice making. And once you make your choice, then you need some practice on how to remember it like that. And as you shift your thinking, as you shift your focus, the way you feel changes. It's a very small example, right? What we focus on changes. Now the question for tonight is, what is the best thing to focus on? What is, is there a stable ground to stand on, like you said? But before we go into this whole discussion, because today's discussion I wanted to be about the theme of dreams to determination. Oftentimes we have dreams, we have things, like you said, we have things to do, places to go, but we get stuck. Like we we're inspired. Every New Year's Day we'll make these goals, right? You did that here too, we made those goals and everything. But then after that, soon after, it fizzles away. So there's all these desires, hopes, plans, ambitions, but life kind of fizzles it all out. So it leaves us feeling craving, maybe failure or something like that. So I want to talk about this. Dreams to determination, how to bridge that gap. And dealing, what's the big thing in the middle? The fears. Dealing with that. So we'll talk about these three things today. We live in a world today where in a sense it's a free world. You have all kind of options. You can travel anywhere you want. Everything you need is in the market. Things that were once a doctor's appointment are now just over the counter. You can just get it. So everything is within the purchasing range. Choices are plenty. There's no religious institutions binding you with morality. You can do pretty much all of what you want. Nothing's going to happen. So our plans and enthusiasm are kind of like, we're going to do this great thing, and then it just fizzles away somewhere. So, and it's seen as a growing concern among the younger generation. There's a gap between the options you have, the ideas you have, and what is actually being achieved. There's a little bit of a gap there. So what causes this gap? What is this kind of determination that's just so dreamy and fantastic, and I could be a princess, queen, this, that, and the other, but in reality, you go to school, they'll teach you, just make your plans, big quotes, all these famous quotes that will come up, dare to dream. But what happens? After that, we're just struggling to get through the day, and kind of everyone shared how it's a struggle. And I would say you are amongst the maybe top 2% of the world's population in terms of economic opportunities, in terms of educational opportunities, in terms of lifestyle circumstances, in terms of freedoms that you enjoy. you're probably among the top 2% of the world. There are lots of people in this world who don't have water. There's lots of kids in this world who don't have water. They don't have medical facilities. They don't have beds to sleep on. Like I was reading, Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27-year sentence. And for many years, he was in a closed little room, did not even have a bed to sleep on. Not even a bed, and had to do hard labor. And even from in those circumstances, how did he make his dreams happen? So what is it that we're missing? Is it that we lack as a person? Is there something faulty with us? Or what's going on? What did he have access to that we don't? Mahatma Gandhi, you can see similar, didn't have any resources, didn't have a bank balance or anything like that. And India was under the British rule, oppression. So in those circumstances, with $0 to your name, how do these personalities get what they want? So do you feel inspired by them, or do you feel like, what am I doing wrong? So it's kind of like this. There's all these stories and other realities of our life, and I want to try and bridge that gap. What is it that makes great people great? Can we have access to it, or is it just those few? And the problem is, you see the mountain you want to climb. That's the mountain I want to climb. You see the mountain, you feel the enthusiasm, but you can't see the climb up to it. That to get the mountain looks beautiful, the peak looks even more attractive. You want to conquer it, but to go up to that, there's a lot of work. You have to build stamina, you have to acclimatize, you have to buy equipment, you have to train yourself. There's so much work. But we just see we gotta get to the top of the mountain, and that causes a problem because we're not able to see the steps leading up to that. If you're seeing where we're at, actually sometimes we're not even seeing where we're at. We're just seeing we want to get to the top of the mountain. There's a big distance, and there's a human quality that is required to bridge this gap. And we'll come to it slowly. I just want you to meditate on it. What is it that is missing here that prevents us from going from A to C? Because there's a whole chapter in the Bhagavad Gita that describes the nature of illusion. But material energy, you understand the word material energy is energy that pervades everywhere. You must have thought about it, right? Even if you don't fully know how it functions, material energy is all pervasive material energy. It's kind of like 3 ropes that bind us. They're like the ropes are tying you. You just move a certain way. You can't you don't have full coordination of movement. Like if you had a plaster on, you're bound, right? So material energy is like 3 modes. It's called gunas. 3 gunas: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. It's like 3 different ropes, and each rope has a different kind of a quality. So you're always bound by these 3 ropes. So the 3 modes are always functional when you're operating in the material energy. They're kind of like the waves in an ocean. And based on the modes you're associating with, you'll have different life experiences. So this veil of illusion that you refer to, this is exactly what the nature of this veil of illusion. It's got 3 modes. And what they do is, in different degrees, in different ways, they have 2 primary qualities. One, it covers your eyes. It makes you blind. You can't see what's going on. First it covers your eyes, then it pushes you. They're the 2 forces. This is how it works. You may say no, but as life happens, keep this in mind. 2 shaktis of this energy. Covers your eyes. When you're completely blind to the reality, it will push you over. It just does that. So this is the veil of illusion. And this cover and this push is in 3 different modes. And this is all pervading. Based on the modes you associate with, your charity can be different, your education, your determination, the quality of your happiness. Depending on the mode you're associating with, you will experience a different kind of happiness. Depending on the mode you're associating with, you will experience a different kind of desire to eat, different kind of health benefits. Every single activity is influenced by the modes of nature, as long as you're in the material realm. For example, I'll give you a simple example. Like if you eat something too salty, too spicy, it's food in the mode of passion. It's too salty, just give you stomach problems, things like that. So the result of association with passion. Just a simple example. If you have something dead and decomposing, like meat, that's in the mode of ignorance. it gives you the qualities, you're associating with the quality of ignorance, and then you take on the qualities of ignorance because of that. Just an example. And then mode of goodness, wholesome food, green food, like milk or plants and vegetables, like wholesome things. They give you good health. There's different results from this. Just examples. All three are things people can eat, but based on what you eat, you will see a different result. You can't say that I'm going to eat the food in mode of ignorance and be good health. Because understand that this body wasn't created by you. This body is provided by the modes of nature. Just like if you buy plants from the market, some plants need sunshine. Other plants need shade. Another plant needs water. Based on what kind of environment you put it in, it will flourish differently. The body of the plant needs a certain kind of environment to flourish. Same way, this body is given by material nature. Just like the plant body is given by material nature, this is given by material nature. So like a music system that needs to be tuned, this body needs to be tuned. There are certain modes in which it will give maximum efficiency. And there are certain modes which will give a different result than the maximum possible. It's up to you. These modes you're associating with are tuning the output you get from the body, which includes happiness, which is so, you think you're happy because of you going somewhere. No, it's you're happy or sad because of the modes you're associating with. It's just very interesting. We think we're making day-to-day choices, but actually it's different modes you're associating with, and based on that association the result is. So I wanted to specifically focus on determination. Our determination can also be in three modes of nature. Design your life in a way that you work for your purpose, which means you have to have proper idea of what the purpose is. If you have a relative idea of the purpose, you might kind of like have a shaky system in place. If you have a full clear idea of the purpose, you might have a very good system in place. So we'll work towards that. So what we're going to talk about now is really lifestyle engineering. What the knowledge of the modes of nature does is it gives you the ability to choose how I want to live my life and what are the expected results if I make these choices. So Bhagavad Gita is actually a very practical text. Krishna, in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, there's 3 verses that describe the modes. So here's the one verse Krishna says, Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madam evacha. So I'm going to split this word. That which, yaya, swapnam, dreaming. Swapnam means dreaming. Dream like, oh, this will happen. That will, yaya swapnam, bhayam, fear, shokam, like sadness, grief. So what is it? Dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, sadness. Then there's moroseness, vishadam. And then there's madam, madness kind of thing. That which does not go beyond swapna, dreaming, fearfulness, and sadness. Can you see those waves in your life? Dreaming, you dream about things, then you fear things, and then there's grief, and then there's moroseness, and then there's just frustration in the end. Like that determination, which is in this realm. And Krishna says, Vimunchati durmedha. So one who's not intelligent will not give up this kind of determination. The word for determination is dhritya, tamasi, pritha. O pritha, O Arjuna, that kind of determination which does not go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and frustration in the end. That kind of a determination is determination in the mode of ignorance. God, if you do a global survey, all the speeches are on how to dream. And then what are the other half of the talk? Fear of failure. It's trying to give you strategies on dealing with fear of failure, but actually Krishna is explaining that this result that you see, this fearfulness, self-doubt, have you ever felt it? Self-doubt. This is a result not of a lack on your part, it is a result of the modes you're associating within your life. When our life is very much in the mode of ignorance, when the predominant energy we are dealing with is the energy of tamasi, the ignorant energy, meaning look at the food we eat. Generally, very few people are, very small percentage is eating vegetarian, holistic, healthy, organic food. Small food, small food is in the mode of ignorance. Our lifestyle, if you think about it, is generally in the mode of ignorance. We don't have a sleep time, we sleep late, we wake up late. Mode of goodness lifestyle, you wake up early in the morning, you have all these kind of things. When Krishna, one of the first lessons Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita, one who eats too much, eats too little, sleeps too much, sleeps too little, such a person can never be a yogi. Just some very fundamental things. Of course, there's a lot more detail in there, but understand that the way we are living our life is leading to our frustrations and stuff. It's not so much that you're not capable of doing this project. It is that the feeling of frustration is just a feeling. It's not like no one's clamped your hands, no one's held your legs or something like that. It's a feeling that haunts you. There's a ghost of the past that haunts us because of the activities we chose to do. It's just a feeling because of mode of ignorance. That is, the mode of ignorance pulls you down. Patantiyada, you go down, down, down.